Yeah, Lexi's talking and she's on mute, so you can't hear her. But I think she's trying to do an introduction.
Yeah. I'm also trying to figure this out at the same time. Wow.
I'm
Okay.
like, I'm like,
Hello.
she's been talking for like a solid 30 seconds now.
All right. We'll get back into it. It's been a while since we've been on this thing. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Kingdom's Queens podcast. We are officially 44 days away from NFL kickoff, which is flying by quickly. But we're so excited to have you all here with us tonight. There's a lot to talk about, so almost just have to get right into it. But I'm your host, Lexi.
Hey y'all, I'm Jody. What's up? Um,
I gotta get back in the swing of things on here
I'm
because it's been a minute. I'm like
yeah,
out of
you
out of
literally
sorts.
had 10 minutes worth of technical difficulties, and I'm the one whose computer was on the blue screen today. It had to have it completely
As
fixed.
I was having audio issues, but I think I figured them out. So
Yeah,
hopefully
we'll see.
we'll
I
see.
will say though, I'm actually very shocked right now. I just looked at Twitter because I was getting ready to share our page like we normally do every episode. And Michael Gallup is retiring.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm like, what in the world? That doesn't
wait.
even
What
yeah. I'm
what team did
genuinely
he?
he went to the Raiders after the Cowboys, and it just Ari just posted the Raiders wide receiver Michael Gallup is retiring from the NFL. And I know that he was battling injuries for a second, but I thought that he came back healthy enough to where he went to the Raiders. I mean, as a Chiefs fan, I'm glad that he's retiring with the Raiders. But
Yeah.
he was such a good wide receiver when healthy, and he was really fast, and he had good hands. So I wonder if there's something more going on there to why he's retiring, because that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. But okay.
It doesn't, but it's the same thing with who was it from the Dolphins the other day that just retired as well. Like he had only been on the Dolphins for like a day and then he retired.
I
I
can't
can't remember who it
remember.
was, but lots of
Yeah,
random retirements going on. So
I know. That's why. That's why when you first were pressing go live, I was like, "What?" Because I was reading that, like, "What in the world?"
oh
Anyway,
man, all
anyway,
kinds of
just
stuff going
felt
on.
something. You can tell that we're finally in football season. So, as Lexi said, we are 44 days away from our season being here, which is wild. Are you looking at Twitter at the Kingdom Queens page and how the stream isn't on there?
I am.
Yeah, another reason why I was looking lost there for a second. So,
What is happening with our
I have no
technology?
clue, but it's
Because I
connected.
definitely clicked it when I connected it.
Well,
So
it says it's connected. So, oh well, y'all will just have
awesome.
to watch us today from me and Lexi. It is what it is. It is what it is. I guess basically what that means is we can't go on any more hiatuses. But
Apparently,
um,
because I'm tired of technology issues. It's
yeah.
okay. I
But
digress.
no, so Chiefs training camp started this week. Sunday was day one training camp up in St. Joseph, Missouri. And let me tell y'all something. It was a few of us who went on Sunday because, A, we're not missing Chiefs training camp day one. Like, there's absolutely no way in the world.
No.
And it was kind of great. So, what I think camp started at 9. I think we got there at 8, right? We
Yeah,
left Kansas City at
at
the goal was to
7.
leave at 6:50 a.m. We left at 7:05. We had to stop at Starbucks first, y'all. Like we had to get our coffee before we could
Listen.
go do football. It was very important. Got to St. Joe at
Necessities.
probably like 8:30. What time did we get there? Like 8:30?
Yeah.
Maybe like 8:15, 8:30.
I would say, yeah,
And
about 8:15.
And then when you look at, if you've ever been to training camp at St. Joe, so it's at Missouri Western. That's one of the local colleges and I say local, it's 45 minutes north of Kansas City. So if you're in downtown Kansas City, it's about another 40 minutes north. And it's on a
Yeah.
college campus, which Andy Reid likes the dorm setting and whatever that is. I'm sure y'all seen all the videos and the pictures of the players. And when we got there was already a very long line. And we were like, okay. So then we got in line.
I
And
think the first person I saw get there was like 3:30 a.m., which is
yeah, there were
crazy.
some very wild posts of people getting there super early, but am I surprised by Chiefs fans? No,
No,
not at
never.
all, in the least bit. We get in line at about 8:30, 8:40. And again, they said the Chiefs sent out an email that said gates are opening at 9:15. Gates definitely opened at like 8:40, 8:45, but I think that just kind of is a test to, well, an attestment to what this team is and what they do. They always open the doors early, whether it's
They
a
do.
preseason game or week one or training camp.
Or
And
a
then
playoff game.
or a playoff game. And then we got there and everybody kind of started running towards a spot, towards the field, right? So at
Yeah.
this point, it's how do you get the best seat? How do you get the best spot? Yeah. I think what did you say that the capacity was for Sunday?
5,000. And then I don't know what it was on Monday, but it was like definitely not 5,000, but it was for season ticket members,
It
which
was
you
probably only
are.
like 3. I
Yeah.
am, yes.
You
So
are. So
we
you
went,
kindly got me a ticket for that one.
yes, we did Sunday. That was fantastic. It was great. The weather was kind of perfect. It wasn't too hot like this weekend's gonna be.
Oh my gosh.
But
I'm
the weather
praying
was
for these
really good.
players next week. Like
I
next
think they'll be
week,
fine. I
the
mean, I
high.
feel like most of them, this ain't their first rodeo, so they understand what the heck
I
they're
guess,
getting
and
ready to get into.
yeah, a lot of them are from all over the country, and all
The
over the
South.
country gets hot. Yeah, South for sure, and it gets hot down there, right? So, but
I
we're
mean,
dealing with a high of 96 to 100 for every single day next week.
Patrick Mahomes,
So,
Texas, Xavier Worthy, Texas, Chris Jones, Mississippi. A lot of these guys grew up in the South.
yeah,
So, I think they'll be just fine. But I will say day 2 was way hotter than day 1.
way hotter. I don't
The
know
sun
what
came out.
changed
The sun came out on Monday.
because we looked at the temperature and it said 75, and we're like, there's no way. Like,
Yeah,
I know
no.
75. This is not 75.
Somebody's lying.
Someone's
And
lying.
it's so funny though, because day 2 was season ticket holder member day. So you got to go with a season ticket holder. So we went.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to get like our little cute pancake breakfast. Didn't even look for pancakes. We just went like
No, we did
straight
not.
to go find a seat. Like we were like, no, we're gonna go find somewhere to sit. So didn't even do the pancakes. Didn't even get any of the fun, cute treats that I feel like we deserve. And then it was hot.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's
Very.
kind of get into it and talk about like what we observed. So again, day 1 and day 2 were very, very different. Day 1 was just like really fun. Like, and I think both days were really fun, right? But like there was a huge difference between the offense between day 1 and day 2. And
Very
again, I
much
think
so.
like I want to say like I love all of the overreactions that are already happening, and we're literally at day 3 of training camp. So like I just want
Right.
people to remember that it's day 3 of all of these people working together as a group. So
Yeah.
they're still learning names. Okay, they're still learning each other's names. Remember that. Remember that.
Facts.
What were your thoughts about day 1 versus day 2?
Day 1, I mean, I have to say it was dominant by the offense, right? And then day 2 was dominant by the defense. And what we have to remember is you have to appreciate both. I was reading something today, I think from Pete Sweeney, that said, I think it was like a pass from Mahomes to Hardman or something, and I think McDuffie and someone else broke it up, and he was like, the audience kind of started not booing, but kind of like, oh, like let out a collective sigh. And then Spags turned around to everyone and was like, no, hype up the defense. Like it's still a great play. So I think
Yeah.
the best part about training camp, and this goes for any team in the NFL, is that you're rooting for both your offense and your defense.
Yes.
And I think our bias goes towards our offense, of course, because you want to see Patrick Mahomes and the boys do great things.
Right.
But we have to remember we have a great,
after last season, and it was rough.
especially. But we have to remember we have a really great defense too, and a lot of special guys on that. So, yeah, I think overall that's my biggest takeaway is that offense day 1 was great, defense day 2 was great, and that was what we saw. Day 2 was, I mean, I don't think Mahomes completed most of his passes on day 2.
Yeah, day 2 was so
But
It's
they
funny because day
like,
one reminded me, I guess, a lot of today. And I know we're going to talk about today's training camp in a
yeah,
little bit. We're just trying to recap day 1 and 2 for you.
yeah,
And maybe it's that way for a reason. No, I don't. No. Now I'm just speculating. I don't think that at all. I think day one was okay. Let's just kind of start getting some oil on the wheels and figuring out what the heck is happening. And
yeah.
more so, maybe just like building the confidence of the offense, which is why we probably saw a lot more. Like, now, I will say there was that one viral clip that went crazy of Xavier Worthy catching this like 50-yard bomb from Patrick Mahomes
I
that
was gonna say, yeah,
literally went viral on every outlet that you can
everywhere.
possibly think of. And I just remember we were all sitting there and we were like, yo, and we like jumped up and we were yelling and we were cheering because that is the excitement that you want to have back. Um, but I will say, like, it was great to see like what was happening with the receivers. It was great to see Xavier Worthy getting some of those reps finally. Like, the crowd was super excited to see him, super excited to see Hollywood Brown, who also had a few great plays and a few great catches too. Mecole Hardman, he wasn't at training camp last year, so this is like his first training camp back in the Chiefs. So I mean, it was really great to see him kind of out there too. And he was taking reps with the first team and the second team and with special teams. And
Yeah,
Hollywood Brown was taking snaps with special teams as well. So it's kind of just interesting to see. I mean, I think we understand that the way Andy Reid and Spags does their playbook is you learn everything. You don't just learn one thing. You're not going to be just honed down to whatever role it is you think you're in. You're going to be versatile in all areas in case we need you.
yeah,
So I will say it was really great to see that, especially when they went into 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. Like, that was great to see how they were able
yeah.
to.
I mean, and just watching Mahomes roll out of the pocket to his left, which isn't his strong side. Well,
Right.
really, he's kind of ambidextrous as a quarterback, but like that's his less strong side. That's his blind side is the left side. So seeing him roll out to the left, completing that to Xavier Worthy 50 some yards down this, like
Plus,
that was insane. And he hauled it in for a touchdown. So I think that's so promising to see for a first year rookie first round pick. And unfortunately, Xavier Worthy has been sick the past 2 days with strep throat. So we're wishing him all the best and hopefully he comes back out there soon.
yeah,
But
and he will be. I mean, you guys who I know all of y'all are listening and y'all are from all over. There's something in the air right now. Whether it's like a
I think it's
flu
all
or
over
it's
the
like
place.
a
Yeah.
COVID or it's like a strep, there's something nasty going around right now, and people are catching it. So I mean, I would say like I'm
Yeah.
glad that if you're going to be sick, it's the first week, so you can
Right.
get it
Get it
in and
over
get
with.
it
Yeah.
out. Because he's not just which he should be probably just like resting and recovering and taking medicine and all of that.
Well,
He's
that's what he
probably
needs to
in the
do. Yeah.
playbook, right? He's probably in the
Yeah.
playbook, and I'm sure they're sending him tape. And we
Because
know
I
that they
know,
record each practice, so
yeah.
I'm sure he's watching and seeing what's happening there too.
Well, we know Mahomes said it's like there's no easy break on Xavier Worthy in this training camp. Like it's going to be go, go, go. And that's pretty much it. So I know Mahomes has very high expectations of Worthy for this training camp.
Shout
So
out to Nate Taylor for getting that question out there.
yeah.
Getting that
What
question
was
out
the
there.
exact what was the
Nate Taylor asked, how are you going to ease Xavier Worthy into the offense?
yeah.
And
He
Patrick
said
was
no
like, there
easing.
is no easing.
Yeah.
And then he was like, if you know, look at Rashi Rice last year. He's going to be like, here's a rep and another one and
And another
another
one.
one and another one.
Another
So
one.
they're like, yeah, no, there's no easing on Xavier Worthy. You're in here, you're going to do it. Okay. So there are a few things I kind of want to talk about from what we just kind of realized day 1 and 2. And then day 3 kind of kept confirming. So first, I want to talk about just the left side of the offensive line. Originally, I was going to say the left tackle, but God bless the left guard too, right? So let's kind of get into the conversation about what the left side of the line is looking like right now. So we know right now, well, today, Lucas Niang took some snaps at guard. We know
So
that Wanye Morris is taking snaps at tackle, and he's rotating with Suma Mataya. They're both basically equalizing the snaps 50-50, if you want to think of it that way, at left tackle.
but then today it was all Wanye apparently on the left side for first team reps.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That might change tomorrow. They might have Sua Mata'ia start tomorrow. So if y'all remember, he's our second round draft pick.
Who
He
has a
is
ton of upside, who has
tons of
all the
upside.
excitement. He's all the excitement right now.
And his cousin is Penei Sewell, who's on the Lions, who is a star
Stud.
tackle on the
Yeah.
Lions on their O line.
Freaking
So
stud. Yeah.
if he has that same upside, I'm like, please, please give us that upside because we need it. I think they're really trying to not just sign another veteran to our O line. I obviously, we both
Yeah.
appreciate what Donovan Smith did last year. And if by all means, if we need to bring him in again this year, please do if these guys aren't cutting it because we don't
Right.
have time. We do not have time or space this season for learning at that
Well,
position.
and that's my
And
thing
for,
though. Okay, if you're sitting out here and you're looking at both Wanye Morris and Suma Mata'ia, Kingsley, Suma Mata'ia, who I
Sua,
think
Sua, Sua Mata'ia.
whatever. If you're looking at both of them right now, if you're looking at both of them right now at the left tackle and you're trying to figure out who's actually going to take over this role, we've seen what Wanye Morris can do.
Yeah.
I think he's at his max of what he can do.
Yeah.
And where he was just okay, I don't think it was like if that's what I have to depend on to make sure that Patrick doesn't hit the ground, that I don't trust that enough. I don't trust that enough, which means you're going to have to add additional chip help or whatever to make sure that Patrick is not on the ground. I mean, the first 2 weeks of this season, we literally go Ravens Bengals. So the first 2 games of the season are so important. They're going to determine what that seeding is going to
Honestly,
look like when it comes to week 18. So how long do you wait before you go, you know what? I don't like what I'm seeing. Maybe we do need to go ahead and bring Donovan back.
yeah. And they asked Andy Reid that in his press conference today. Like, when do you expect to have a solution at left tackle? Like, do you have a timeline on that? And he's like, well, he's such a
He's not gonna
standard,
answer that.
he's like, well, we get the pads on Friday and then you kind of go from there. He's not really going to have a timeline on it that he's going to tell the media because then it becomes
He
like a
won't tell
pressure
the
thing.
media.
Like, oh, well, if you don't have it by this time, then we need to panic, right? So he's not going to do that.
He's 100% not gonna do that.
But
we're never gonna know.
no. And so it's just from what I've seen, we haven't seen a ton from the O-line guys yet, just because it's just strictly passing and you're not seeing a lot of like the run blocking. There's not a lot of that going on until the pads come on. So we're not seeing too much. It's just like, okay, it's just a few.
Well, and to be extremely transparent, we're not going to see any of that.
Yeah.
The stuff that they put out there for the crowd, that is not the same practice that they hold inside. So just because what we see in the morning is over, no, yeah, training camp is over during the day, but they're taking lunch, they're taking breaks, they're getting recharged, and they're getting ready to have the second part of camp for the day. So they still have hours of training camp after the day is done with the people, because that's when they truly dive into their playbook and just whatever their creativeness is going to be for the season. So what we see is very much like what we see week 8 when Andy Reid is just doing the basics to get through the game because he knows he can win. He'd rather win by 1 point than blow a team out. So we're never going to truly see that. So we don't know what it is they're working on behind the scenes, inside the doors at camp, at the training facility. So I will say I'm very interested to see what happens. I just drew a blank.
I really hope that he gets the first team snaps tomorrow because I know Wanye got all of them today.
I really can't wait till Tooney is back because I would like to see them two work together. And honestly, so there's a few things about that, right? So the injury that he's battling, he battled it in the AFC Championship game is when it happened. Or did it happen the game before that? No, it happened. It happened in the AFC Championship game.
No, I think it happened the game before. I think it happened during the Bills.
Well, he didn't miss 2 games. He only missed the Super Bowl. He went out, and then he missed the Super Bowl.
Or, yeah, Allegretti had to go in for him during the...
Correct.
That's
and
right.
So, so that was February, right? It's July. And so I'm like, okay.
Typically with a pectoral, I think, strain is what he has. That's going to take like...
That's what they said.
Yeah, like 6 to 8 months. So by the time we get to September, he should be. And am totally fine with
Should
him
you?
missing training camp. Like, he's a veteran for years and years. He's fine. He should be okay by the season opener, but we haven't heard a ton on his injury
But
yet.
even if he is okay, which, yeah, I mean, there's several guys who don't need to do anything in training camp and they could just show up on week 1. But I still want to see him get that work in with that left tackle because he is that veteran and he would be able to still coach those guys up. So that's kind of a big miss for me right now. And I'm really hoping, just like whatever the injury is, he's like rehabbing well. Because, yeah, like you said, it's been very, very quiet. So I do have concerns about the left side of the line, to where I do think that they're going to be able to get it together. Like, yet day 2 of training camp, Patrick was scrambling.
Yeah.
So he was kind of running for his life in a sense, which I know sounds odd to say, right? Because it's
Yeah.
training camp, but that's just the facts. Now, I will also say that is also what training camp is. Training camp is where you test things out and where you do the things that are hard and where you work through those kinks and try to make things better, the things that you know you're not strong at. You're not supposed to
I
go
think,
into a training camp and it be perfect. No, you're
No,
supposed to
no,
go there
no.
and you're supposed to mess up and have
That's
the errors and the turnovers and all of that. You're supposed to have that.
The most important thing to remember about training camp is that they are going to mess up, and that's because they're running things that they know they can mess up in, and it's not going to matter. So
And
when
they
people,
know what they do well.
well,
I mean,
yeah, and so when
back-to-back
people,
Super Bowl champions, I think they know what
well,
they do really good.
right, and obviously they know how to win games. They're very much so. But it's like people love to overreact in camp. So, Mahomes will throw a pick. And I think it's finally gotten to the point where it doesn't matter if he throws a pick in camp now. Or I remember like a few years ago, people would be like, oh my God,
There was like 5
it's
picks.
over, whatever. But
there was like
he
5
threw a
picks
pick in camp. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you have to remember now he's doing that because he knows he can push things and he's trying to. So he's trying
Joshua
to see,
Williams yesterday.
he's
On
trying
fire.
to see he's trying to see the BS he can get away with. And if he can't, then he can't. And that's totally fine. But this is the time to do that. So it is fun to see them do that. Like we said yesterday, was really defense dominant. Like Joshua Williams intercepted him. And then
2 back-to-back.
then he tossed it over to Chris Jones, who then ran it in for a touchdown, which is hilarious. And what I love to see that in the game, of course. Will it work? I have no idea. But I
Probably
love that
not.
they're having fun in camp like that, and they can test stuff out like that and just see if it see what sticks. So it's a good time.
So I kind of want to transition now. I know we're not going to really dive into receivers because that's a whole long conversation within itself. God bless. And it'll probably definitely happen next week. I'm like, it'll definitely happen next week. I will say, though, just for the people who want to know about the receivers, they look good. I mean, it's a whole bunch of them.
Very good.
It's a whole bunch of them, and they look good. So we can really dive into the
honestly. I mean, it's just nice
later,
to see. It's nice to see Rashee Rice making the catches we knew he's capable of, but he looks. I mean, God, he looks good. Like, I'm not even gonna.
And thank God for them being in Texas, because Patrick Mahomes and Hollywood Brown have a connection already. It's
they
there.
Look so good.
The chemistry is built.
Yeah.
It's built. It's there. So that's something you don't got to worry about.
We are feeling
don't got to worry about it.
Unbelievably good about the wide receiver room right now.
Harrison Butker's leg, still automatic.
Still there. Still there.
He was missing the 67 yards. Like, why are you kicking for 72, Harrison? Like, what's happening here?
He's like,
so it's like there's some things that are automatic that automatically look good. So it's like those aren't going to be the things we focus on. However, I would like to talk about LRZ for a second.
Yeah.
Hi, Miss Jay. LRZ looked great. Now, I know that there are a lot of people who are questioning Louis Zamet, whatever. I know there's a lot of people that are questioning him, but he was definitely out there working hard the first 2 days we were there. And I think people need to understand that there is a learning gap there, and it is going to take time for him to get it and to understand it. But as long as he is trying and at least doing it efficiently and effectively, which is kind of what we both saw, then hey, I'm okay with it. DG is definitely one of those people. And I already asked DG, would he rather have him or KT? And I would 1000% rather have LRZ over KT. But that's another conversation for another day on Kingdom Queen.
Yeah, we can talk about KT at a later time, but I do have some thoughts on him too. But LRZ, I think I want to see what he has more to offer in the pass protection. We have seen him even like after camp is done, he's kind of out there taking reps at pass protection. He's out there trying to get things down.
He's trying to learn.
And it's a lot to learn. I mean, it's a ton.
And he doesn't have pads on yet. So what he's learning is going to be even harder starting at the end of the week. And I will say there's only a few teams that are going in pads this week, and the Chiefs and the Texans are like two of the only teams that I know of that are already transitioning to wearing pads.
Of course the Chiefs are, because they're always a step ahead of the game.
And I think the only reason why the Texans are is because they're in the Hall of Fame game in like a week and a half or 2 weeks or something. So they should be in pads. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Bears were kind of early too, so that does make sense. That's like a week and 2 days away. So
yeah, they need to get all those reps in.
Yeah, next Thursday is the Hall of Fame game. So that makes sense. And they do have they're still young. CJ Stroud is only in year 2. So like they're still a young team. Not everyone, but they have a lot of really good young players. So they do need to kind of do that. I'm really excited to see LRZ in pads. I think he shows a lot of promise so far without pads. I think just being on the right route, catching the ball where he needs to. We saw him doing some punt returns. He looked good on that. So yeah, I think what's to come with him, no one knows. I mean, the upside is there, hopefully, but we're going to learn a lot more Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this next week. We're going to learn a ton more about him.
And there was a lot of people doing punt returns. I mean, yesterday specifically, it was LRZ, it was Hollywood, it was Nico. So I mean, there was somebody else too. There was 5 of them. But I mean, there were a lot of people.
Was it Montrell? Montrell Washington's back there.
Washington? No. Yeah. Wasn't it? It might have been him. Anyway, it was 5 of them out there learning it. But
Justin Watson too, I think.
I don't remember seeing him. I'm sure he was. But there was a lot of them out there practicing it because, for one, everybody's going to do everything a little differently. So that's kind of cool to see because you can learn from each other. And then B, everybody has to learn how to do it because you can never predict an injury or anything like that. And you know Andy Reid, he rather overcompensate than be underprepared. So it was kind of nice to see all of them out there catching punts and seeing what that looked like.
Right. And obviously, I trust Andy and Veach to make the decisions of who they think is going to be that best person for it. And I think preseason is going to tell us a lot. I think we'll learn a lot in the pads. Yeah. I think preseason, actual game settings, we're going to learn a ton about who's actually capable of doing what. And that's why you have that.
Maybe, right? Because
maybe what?
So wait, I was going to say something and then I lost my train of thought because I wanted to speak on training camp. I mean, not training camp, preseason. They're not doing nearly as many cuts this year during preseason games. So you're not going to see a lot of the guys who you expect to see out there because they might already be a lock on this roster. So there might be guys already who are a lock on this roster. Like, now what position groups do I think that they're going to maybe continue to have like those, either not necessarily starters, but like the 2s and the 3s out there? Special teams, 100%. I think special teams is going to be out there nonstop every single game. But like some of the groups and like I think the first and second preseason game are going to tell us a whole lot about this receiver room because they're not going to all play every game. The ones that they know they are locking in, they are going to lock in and they're not going to have them out there. I don't know. We can get to that as we get closer.
I don't think Rashee will be out there. I think Hollywood might get a few reps just for fun, just to
maybe
build that chemistry. It'll be like week 1, maybe week 2, and that's it. Like,
I want to say I have quick excitement about
what?
I am so excited about Carson Wentz being on this team, y'all.
Oh, I am too. I am too.
Hey,
oh my God.
If you know Carson Wentz with the Eagles, he was pretty good. Like, Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. I'm not even going to lie.
And he played with Andy Reid.
He played with Andy Reid.
Like,
And seeing him out there on day 1 and 2 and a little bit today, like he's slanging the ball. Like he's mobile. He can run out the pocket. He can get around. I was like, I love this signing so much. It's not even, but Carson Wentz is going to be so freaking good for this team. And I think that it eases my mind to where if, say there are games where we are winning in the fourth quarter by like 10 or 12, and instead of Patrick playing every minute, being able to pull him and put Carson Wentz out there and know we're not going to lose the game so we can keep Patrick fresh.
Right.
Those are the things I'm very excited about.
So important. Yeah.
Because Carson looked great.
He's already looked great, and it's only a few days in, and he's already completing passes, and it's amazing to see.
He's Blaine Vic. Stop. Not too much on Blaine. But I mean, I think we all loved
it's probably the best backup we've had, right? Under the Mahomes era. I mean, I love Chad Henne, but like Carson Wentz.
He's definitely, I mean, Carson Wentz is younger, he's more mobile, he's played more starting games than Chad Henne. Like he knows what it's like to be a starter. He has that mentality. So yeah, he's definitely probably the best backup in Patrick Mahomes' era. All right, let's switch over to the defense.
100%.
There's a lot of places we can go on the defense, but I think we should just start with like the elephant in the room, and that being Justin Reid not being available probably the whole entire training camp.
Yeah.
What?
So that was unknown to everyone until day 1, and then we're like, oh, Justin Reid is injured and he's not showing up.
We were like, what do you mean he's not on the DNP? Why?
So
he has a have they even said that it's a hamstring? Or did they say
they're being very hush about it, which
because
I hate.
I don't know if it's like a strain. I don't know if he pulled something. We don't necessarily know that it's the hamstring. They're being very secretive about it.
Very. So
is it a quad injury?
I don't know. I mean, he walked down day 1 with like a little sleeve on his leg, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then day 2 he walked down with nothing on his leg, which we were like, oh, maybe that's a good sign. But then we were told, oh no, he's probably going to miss all of training camp, all of preseason, and we don't know about week 1.
Yeah, like what the. So apparently, okay, so I heard the golfing thing as well, but y'all know me, I am a very factual person.
Yeah, we're not going to go.
I will not say things unless I see the article exactly. Yeah. We do know that he was with Ryan Clark. Who knows?
Training, yeah. Training in the off season.
Training. Justin Reid had a ton of events for his charity this season that were all like active. He did have a golfing event. He had a softball event. He had all type of events this off season that were being active. So I, again, not going to speculate and say it's anything like that, but it's really unfortunate. And there's things that I have to say about this, but I said I was going to hold all of my smart comments until at least September, but you're going to, okay, we're down L'Jarius Sneed in our secondary. Trent McDuffie is going to step up and be that number 1. We just spoke about how great Joshua Williams looked. We're waiting on Jalen Watson to come back. We know that we have Shamari Connor. That's going to be great. We know that we got a lot of guys back in Brian Cook, Najee Johnson. Like a lot of health is coming back to the team, especially the secondary, which is a blessing.
This was just so unexpected that it's like we drafted.
How long has he been battling this?
We don't know. No one knows except for day 1 of camp where he came down and it was like, oh, you're not practicing. Awesome.
Huh.
The thing is, we did draft Hicks. Jaden Hicks. What round was that? The 4th round? 3rd round? 4th round?
I don't know. It's
5th round? Somewhere around there. Somewhere in the mid rounds. And we were told he's a steal. And
Yeah, Jaden Hicks is really good.
from what we've seen so far, he is. He
He
is
looked
definitely
great.
steel. He is long, he's tall, he's strong, he's smart. He's able to play around wherever Spags is needing him right now in the backfield. He doesn't really have a set spot. He just said Spags is playing him wherever he's needed, which is fantastic. And I
Which,
love that he has that diversity in him. And
yeah,
however, we have to
it's day
feel
3.
really, yeah, we have to feel really, really confident in him going up against the Ravens who want to kill us in week 1, the Bengals who want to kill us in week 2,
There's no way Jaden Hicks can start.
every other team that wants to kill us.
There's no way he can start. I mean,
So
if anything,
there's a lot of talk about like bringing a veteran on, and there's this guy named Justin Simmons.
oh
from
no,
the
because when I
Broncos.
spoke about the safety market in April and everybody was mad and in a tizzy because there were all these safeties that were open that were cheap.
Yeah.
Everybody got mad at me for bringing up the topic.
Well,
So that's why
the
I'm
only thing
holding
I
my
don't
comment.
know, the only thing I don't know is apparently Justin Simmons, I think, wants a big contract, which
And
we
we're
would
not
not
gonna do
do.
that. No.
We would not do.
But I
So
mean, why not come do a 1-year deal, get a ring,
why not
and
try?
then
Yeah.
take that as leverage
Come
to
to the
really go
enemy.
get paid anywhere.
Come to the enemy. You've been our enemy for years.
Yeah, it's
Come
like
on
that.
over.
But use that leverage. First of all, you're not gonna like have a down year after this year, right? Use that
No.
leverage and go get paid from somewhere else and be a Super Bowl champion. So I don't know. I think the Justin Reid news is very frustrating. And I do wish him the best. But the thing is say he is good and ready to go week 1. Are they going to do him like they did Travis Kelce? We love you, Trav, but you're not ready to go week 1. We're going to hold you till week 2. So could they pull that with Justin Reid as well? And
You mean last year? Travis is
yeah,
fine.
that's what I'm talking about. Last
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
they held Travis week 1 and brought him out week 2.
Yeah.
Could they pull that same thing with him with Justin Reid this season? Like,
And the thing
because
is,
they're being now, I will say someone said something earlier and I was like, oh my God, thank God for Spags. Like, you're absolutely right.
I know.
Someone said we gotta love Spags because Spags ain't gonna sugarcoat it and he gonna keep it straight with us. He not gonna pull the day-to-day with us. He gonna be like, he ain't ready.
He's out for a while.
And he's out for a while. So don't ask me every day in this press conference what's going on with him. So I appreciate Spags just having that transparency, but I think that's because maybe he does know it's something more than that, and they really are like, all right, we got to really work to figure out what's going to happen in this secondary for this season, because that's 2 big guys you can be without him and L'Jarius Sneed, and that's a big difference maker from being the top 2 defense and being top 10 defense. That's
now
big.
The one thing we have to our advantage, I think, is that hopefully we're still a top 10 defense. I still think we can be. I have all the confidence in the world in them. However, I think Patrick, he had to rely so much on the defense last season because just how it went. That's just how our season
offense was for literally every week.
So every game, just about.
I'm like,
there was like a very, very few exceptions against like the Chargers and the Bears that we had great games against. Aside from that, now I feel like this season, again, I think we'll be back to that really strong offense where I think they'll carry us. And I think, but if we can have that with the strong defense, it's unstoppable. Like there's no one stopping us. So,
absolutely. And I will say, I think that is where we're like, thank you, Jesus, because the offense is going to be way better this season. Like, the offense is going to be way better this season. There's no doubt, no hesitation. There's nothing that changes my mind on that. I mean, even outside of the receiving room, Travis Kelce looks great. He is staying after practice and taking extra reps because he's a leader. He is still moving like a young goat.
He literally looks like 3 years younger.
What are baby goats called?
A kid? Are they called kids? Wait.
I don't know. That's what Travis Kelce looks like. He looks limber. He looks like he can bend and move and stretch. He can take a hit. Oh, they are called a kid.
That's what I thought.
Travis Kelce looks like a kid.
He looks like a kid.
And I don't mean a child. I mean a baby goat. That's what I mean. So no, but he
Um,
looks really, really good already, and it's been day three of training camp, right? So the tight end room, I'm very excited about that. We also brought in extra help, so you can't be upset about that. I will say, I think our biggest why. Okay, I understand that with Kadarius Toney, he has to be on this team for one more year because of his contract. But thinking that you can make him be cross-functional in the wide receiver and running back room, no. No. Go get another receiver. I mean, go get another running back. Do not go into this season with just Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and think you can depend
on
on
KT as a running
Darius
back.
Toney.
I think he's gonna end up being a hybrid, and I think if we do use him, it's not gonna be like
Maybe Andy Poland.
it's not gonna be like anything like it was last year. Like last year, we were looking at we were looking at KT as wide receiver potentially 1 last year.
No, I never thought that.
People
Andy
were
said that.
though.
That's because Andy Reid said it, and I think he was
And
trolling in that press conference, and then the whole world ran with it.
everyone
Why do
was. I mean,
people
it was
believe what he
KT.
says? Don't believe Andy.
It was Listen,
All
from
I
what
know
I've
is
seen so far with KT, I think he's great on special teams if he can stay healthy. This is all if he can stay healthy. God forbid. He looks great on special teams so
and we
far.
think he can stay healthy as a running back.
Listen, it won't be
He's
like
gonna get
Isaiah.
hit
It's
harder
not
as a
gonna
running
be.
back.
He's not going to be the horse, though. He's not going to be the one doing everything. It's going to be like a third down sneaky thing, and then he'll get
So
that.
Kadarius Toney knows how to make blocks. Have you seen him ever block?
No, so I need to see that. Or I
Yeah,
need to see how he is in pass blocking for
because
sure.
McKinnon could
And
block his
and
ass off.
yeah, McKinnon was
Yeah.
phenomenal at that.
Yes.
Phenomenal. So yeah,
But we don't need him for the jet sweeps either. We got literally Hollywood Brown.
got
We got
Hardman. He's fighting for a role, but I think he's going to be on this team,
it's
and
unfortunate he's gonna be here.
I think it's just
But
going
we're
to be
not
those niche things. Now, if you remember the first year he was here, he made some insane plays happen. There was a play circulating today from the Jacksonville Jaguars game in the divisional round a few years ago
yes.
when Patrick hurt his ankle. KT was in basically as running back, and Patrick tossed the ball off to him.
Well, yeah, because everybody was hurt that game.
But KT ran through and broke some tackles and kind of played a hybrid running back in that game. So if we can see that version of him where he can score touchdowns and make things happen, I will be happy. But God, I need this guy to focus, and I need him to make everything he can of this opportunity, because last season it was just such an unfocused player we saw. It felt like he wasn't
LRZ or KT?
For me, I have to see LRZ in pads first.
I'm
I can't
taking
say that. I
LRZ
can't say it
regardless.
yet. I can't
Well,
say
I've
it yet.
seen what KT has done. I'm like, I've seen enough to see what he has done. And if we're going to
I hope LRZ can be that guy. I hope that he can be the one to fill that spot. I would love nothing more, but
I
I just
I
want to
also
see how he
think that
does in a game form, in a game setting, and I won't be able to
true,
answer that question until preseason.
true, but I also think that there's a lot of other things that LRZ can do better. He could probably line up correctly. Just gonna start there.
I think the thing about
He's not going to be
LRZ,
angry and get on Instagram and talk about the team that he's currently
no.
on. Like just minimal characteristic things that he
This is
can
what I was
do
going to
better.
say. The thing about LRZ is he is here to take every single advantage of this opportunity. Like he's not here to F around. He is here
Correct.
to take every advantage he can of being a Kansas City Chief and being on this team and helping us win. And he's not going to, like you said, he's not going to be causing drama on the side. He's not here.
Put LRZ in a room with Mecole Hardman and Mecole teach him everything he knows.
And I love that we see him and Mecole on the sidelines all the time.
All the
LRZ
time.
and Mecole. Like they are like Mecole's. I love that he's taken him under his wing. I'm like, thank
all
you.
of them, honestly.
This is the guy to do that.
it makes so much sense, which is another reason. And I know we're not talking receivers, but for people to
Well,
say,
pretty much are at this point.
but for people to say that like they don't know if Miko Hardman's making this team, first of all, he signed a contract. Second of all, of course he is. He's the vet the wide receiver room needs to train literally all of these new guys on this receiving offense, what to do and how to be. You see how much better Rashee Rice got once Miko Hardman got on this team. And he was already good before. But you see how much he elevated and took off in the second half of the back half of the season.
Right.
Anyway, the defense. I'm like, the defense.
The defense.
Joshua Williams.
He had a huge day too. Oh,
He did back to back picks. It was great.
Oh my gosh, that guy is
I was
flying
glad that
around
I
there.
said hi to him and he laughed.
Oh yeah. So if you haven't seen the video, Jodi, they were like, it was like Joshua Williams, Trent, and a few Deion Bush and a few other rookies
Brian
came on.
Cook.
They were the first ones down on the field, right in front of us. And Jodi yells, "What did you say?"
Oh my God, it's Joshua Williams.
And he looks up, he's like, and then he ducks down.
Right, I was trolling, but no,
Jodi's like, I'm trying to embarrass them.
I am absolutely. So for me, I'm very, very interested to see like what these corners look like all trainings camp. I think the two position groups that I'm going to be looking at the most is, well, and originally it wasn't even the safeties because I thought Justin Reid was good, but it's going to be the secondary now as a whole unit and left tackle, left guard, right? So, but
I'm really frustrated that we have to worry about the safeties now.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, and where Brian Cook is amazing and where Jalen Watson is amazing. Like, where are these guys?
Kamari Connor's looking good. Nazeeh Johnson's looking good.
Yeah. Right? But it's really going to come down to, like, I don't know. Who is going to be the... Because if Trent's playing the outside now and not the inside like he was when Snead was here, so he's moving over, who is going to be that person on the inside with Trent? And that's what I'm really trying to figure out. And my hype right now is definitely Joshua Williams. And I thought that before training camp even started. When is Jalen Watson expected to be back? Should he be back by preseason? We have no time on that because he just had surgery. No. So he may be back week 1.
The thing that I don't like right now is that we don't have timelines on any of these injuries. I haven't heard about Naughty. I haven't heard about Joe Tooney. I haven't heard about Jalen Watson. None of them have like timelines on their injuries.
Or Charles Omenihu. We don't know when he's expected to be back.
A whole other anomaly. Yeah.
He thinks he'll be back week 1, where like you'll be back week 7. Like, no, you won't. But I mean,
we want you back week 1. If you can be back week 1, please.
It's honestly, the faster we get him back on the line will make me feel way better about the secondary.
Yeah.
The moment he's back out there and it's him, Chris Jones, Drew Tranquill, all of them together, Nick Bolton, the moment they're all back together, I mean, the moment we get all of them back together on that line and crowd in the front, that's going to make me still feel so much better about the secondary because they should be able to alleviate a lot off of the secondary by getting pressure up front and hopefully stopping the run game. So, I mean, the sooner he could come back, the better I'm going to feel because I think that I don't think this season is going to feel like it did last season with the defense. I think it's going to feel like a normal defense for the Chiefs, to where the first few games there is definitely rust that they're trying to get off, and then all of a sudden they're clicking on all cylinders after the bye week. I really think that's what this season is going to be like because there are so many unknowns on the defense. And it's not even that there's holes there. Like, thank God we know the people that are at least going to be filling the spots. Yeah. It's just a matter of they're hurt. And then it's like, okay, well, do you rush them back because we know we played 20 plus weeks of football? Do you let them take that time and recover? And if they don't come back until after the bye week, is that okay? Can this team win these games without these people in the first 6 weeks? And I think that's something Holmes is thinking a lot about too with this offense.
And it's tough. I mean, our first 2 games are going to be some of the hardest of our season, probably. And it's going to be,
Yeah.
it's not going to tell us a lot about our full season just because, teams don't find their way until mid-season to late season. And that's when you pick up your stride. But the first 2 games are teams that could easily come into playoff seeding later. So the Ravens and the Bengals are the first 2 games, and we need to win those, ideally.
Yeah.
We might lose one, but ideally we need to
better
win
figure out a way to go 2-0.
I know.
Joe Burrow looking like Macaulay Culkin means we win. So that's how I feel.
In like Eminem today.
I'm like, what in the world is happening in Cincinnati?
He strolled in. He shaved his head and then dyed it bleach blonde and looks like Eminem. So.
I really can't wait until we get closer to week 1 so we can, talk about the matchups of both of those teams, because there's a lot of things that both of those teams have made. They look different this year than they did last year. So I'm ready to dive into those matchups, but
people aren't talking enough about how different the Ravens are.
Yeah.
Like they have lost a lot of defense. They lost a lot of offensive line.
Correct.
They lost coaches that were big in their both of their schemes.
And stayed in the AFC, however that happened. But yeah. So they're very different. Lamar Jackson lost like 20 pounds or something like that. So who knows?
Which could either be really good or really bad.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot there. That's why I'm like, I really can't wait to dive into those matchups because
we'll get there when we get there. But.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, something else notable about training camp that I really just enjoyed. I guess I kind of said it already, but I really just enjoy like the chemistry between like Patrick and Carson Wentz too. Like you could tell that they were friends.
I'm gonna duck real quick.
I'm sorry, what?
Are you leaving? I'm gonna duck real quick.
I can't hear her, but she just left. Anyway, so the next day of training camp, I believe that they have camp again tomorrow, and then they rest on Thursday, and then they're in pads on Friday, and then not in pads Saturday. But then
I had to sneeze. I'm sorry.
I was like, she left. Whatever. I'm gonna talk to y'all. So
my allergies are getting to me all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's because we were standing in the freaking grass outside for hours at training camp.
That's what I'm saying.
Allergy medicine.
Sorry, I'm back. What were we saying?
I just kind of went down like what the remaining of the roster is. I mean, not the roster, but the remaining of the week for training camp looks like this week.
Yeah.
Practice tomorrow, off on Thursday, pads Friday, probably not pads on Saturday, pads on Sunday. Sunday is receivers and tight ends, so I'm excited. I'm going to get out there on Sunday. Sunday is a very long day, but that is the day that I really want to see. And it may be 95
boots on the ground on Sunday. So
boots in the ground on Sunday. I'm doing my job, doing my due diligence. Just so y'all know, we woke up at 5:30 a.m. on Saturday, on Sunday and Monday, and I'm tired because those are supposed to be my days of sleep. Those are supposed to be my days of sleep. Okay, so what were your like top 3 things that you took away from camp that you were not even necessarily like most excited about, but made you kind of be like, oh, okay, like whether it was like a good thing or questionable or whatever. And then I'll do mine.
I would say now this is something random, but I haven't seen a lot of people talking about. So I just want to mention it, I guess, is that Justin Watson was staying after practice both days and putting in work and catching balls. And he was one of the last ones on the field both days, just really working hard. Really love to see that. He's a leader on the team at this point, and he is going to be in our wide receiver room.
He better be.
I just love, he's great for those niche things that we need him for. So I love seeing him putting in the extra work. I think that was really cool. And I haven't seen a lot of people mention that. So I wanted to give him a little shout out for that. I think we saw like Jalen Watson working with Spags the other day.
Yeah, that was great.
That was really cool. He looks really like great. I have hopes for him being back pretty soon. Honestly, I
do too.
I can't say for sure, but there's no timeline. But he looks like he could be back sooner than later.
Yeah, it was so great seeing Spags kind of like just coach him up too. He's like, he was like in a stance and was like, all right, like this is what this needs to look like, and this is how this needs to be executed. And I'm just sitting there the whole time like, love Spags.
Love it.
And then
Someone else I want to give a shout out to is Jared Wiley. I am really high on him. He's our tight end, rookie tight end, and I just think he's already making plays with the ones. He's already catching balls from Mahomes. I think he has, as much as I love Noah Gray, this is no shade towards Noah Gray, I think Jared Wiley could pass him by like mid-season for like how much we use him, that kind of thing.
Noah Gray only had one catch. I mean, only one drop last season.
I know, but I'm just saying, that's just my theory. I just think Jared Wiley, I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's going to fit in really well with these tight ends.
No, I agree.
And one person I was thinking of today that we have not seen like at all is Irv Smith Jr. Where is he?
Yeah, I haven't seen him. And I'm sure he was out there. I'm
sure he was, but like, why have we heard nothing about him from anyone?
Yeah, well, he can't.
Nothing.
How much did we pay him?
Like $1 million, but I just think it's weird that we've heard nothing. So,
and maybe there's
someone I want to work.
He's not on any list either. He's not on like any do not practice list or anything of that nature. So there's like no reason why.
I've just heard
he's still just like learning and it could be legit like still learning the playbook because it's still so early. The playbook is very hard, and I think like that's the one thing that people have to learn. Like they have to have patience on. Like these dudes are trying their hardest. Like
for sure. But
who's that talking about how LRZ
focus on him a little bit.
I think it was LRZ how he was talking about how like he'll go to training camp, he'll go to practice, he'll leave practice, he'll go back to practice, he'll leave practice, and then he studies the playbook like 2 hours before he goes to bed every single night. So it's like, they understand like the importance of this and like how hard it is because honestly, in reality, because they're not doing cuts during these preseason games, some of these guys might be getting cut watching them at practice. Like you might be on the chopping block just depending on what your practice looks like. So I would say the three things for me, I was very it was so great to just see Xavier Worthy on day one. He looked so good. And Hollywood Brown. Like I think those were the two things that gave me so much excitement because they looked amazing. And it's so funny because they really kind of look like the same person. Like same height, same speed,
I'm telling you,
identical.
Rashi, Hollywood, and Xavier are triplets. They look.
Well, I mean, Rashi Rice is way taller than both of them. But like them two, Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, like them two in a sense are very like put them both on the field at the same time, and that is going to be a problem for the whole entire world. So I will say that like fans,
these guys are triplets. Oh, I can't even.
It's a blur.
Kind of.
I will say that I'm really excited to see what those two are going to do this season because they are going to be very special. So the hype is there. The hype train is definitely there. And I just know that like Andy his mind is probably just going about like all the different creative things that he wants to create for this offense because we're really pretty much like the Legion of Zoom 2.0.
Yeah.
So like I can only imagine like
he's gonna have so much fun.
He's gonna have so much freaking fun. I can't wait. I will say Jawan Taylor, he definitely looks like he lost some weight going into this season. He looks good. He looks healthy. I feel like he mentally is in a way better place after having a full season with the Chiefs now and just kind of like knowing expectations, definitely having a better idea of like how the playbook is and what that looks like. I think we're going to see a very different, and Jawan Taylor is great, but I think we're going to see a different side of him going into this season. So I'm actually kind of really excited to see what that looks like and translates like. And then I think like the third thing that I would say is like George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton,
Mike Dana.
God bless. That is a group that is just like, well, we're picking up right where we left off. So what's up?
I think George is about to have himself a year.
Oh, he is. Like
I think
he is. Him and
really
Chris
excited.
Jones and Charles Omenihu all together, like that defensive line is scary.
It is. I think they're being slept on.
I am so excited about this defensive line. Like they're going to be Yeah, we're gonna have a couple of all pros this year, and I can't wait. And Chris Jones is just playing with a different mentality now because he's paid and he can just be here and be happy.
He's hilarious. He's already like
he's happy. Who was that yelling coming down the hill?
Mike Pennell.
Mike Pennell, another monster. Another
monster. Huge.
Just full of great energy.
Gigantic
I'm like, all of these dudes are 5 years old in real life. So I can't wait really just like, I can't wait to get back to camp and get like a better view of like the 7-on-7.
I just can't wait to see that. Yeah.
And I'm really like, okay, can we skip next week as a whole and just go to the following week? Because like, let's get towards the end of training camp so we can see them really start like clicking on all cylinders and understanding the playbook and getting that tough coaching and making the adjustments that they need to make. Like, let's go ahead and fast forward this a little bit. Like this little cute stuff that's happening right now. All right, like cool. Whatever. Let's fast forward and get to like the nit grit of it. So
I will happily skip next week with the 100-degree highs every day.
Yeah. So. No, thank you.
We're doing our best, okay, in covering this, but it's going to be really hot.
It's been interesting. But I mean, that's all I got.
My problem is we were sweating when it said it was 75.
I want to just say, if you're going to go to training camp, be like us and buy an electric fan.
Buy a fan. They're clutch.
Amazon.
You have to.
Best thing ever. I will be buying a better version for the home opener.
I should show my fan. I should show my fan because it's so good. But
I think that's all I got really for like the first 3 days. I mean, like there's not too much that you could take away. I mean, you know, again, I'm definitely going to be looking at the left side of the line and the freaking secondary. That's where my focus is going to be for the next few weeks. So, yeah.
I think just overall as a whole, I think it's just really good to be back into football. I think it's really good to see our team back together. I'm really excited about what's to come. I think there's so much promise on both sides of the ball, but especially offense versus what we had last year. Everyone knows our struggles we had last year. We are not seeing those struggles as of right now.
And Patrick Mahomes is not satisfied. I think that's the crazy part. He is so
none
upset
of them are
how last season went.
Isaiah Pacheco said the same thing in his presser today. He's like, I'm not satisfied.
It reminds me of last season training camp when the defense was pissed that they let the Eagles score 35.
Yeah.
That's the energy I'm getting this year from the offense. So we've seen how the defense adjusted and went into this whole season, and they literally were a top 5 defense from game 1. The offense is giving me that energy this year, and I'm like, oh, that's not good for people because they're not okay.
No, think of how we felt about the offense last year. Imagine how embarrassed Mahomes was of that offense last year and the product they put out. I'm being completely honest.
I mean, not even
playoffs, regular season. Imagine how he was not happy, and you could just see that first throw where he rolled out to his left. He didn't even really necessarily need to roll out to his left on that first one, but he rolled out to his left and had an insane pass to Xavier Worthy. And you can just tell he was like, this is my bread and butter. Yeah. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to make this league better and entertaining to watch. And this is what I do. And then he had the same kind of pass today to Justin Watson as well.
Oh, Justin
and one to Rashi probably too, or Hollywood.
Yeah, Rashi had
ones today. So
one of them, Rashi or Hollywood, and I can't remember off the top of my head. It was Holly? No, it was Rashi. He had a 50+ yard catch today. That was sick. After the Justin Watson one, like it was back to back.
A lot to be excited about with this offense.
Like I actually think I heard that, like, because yesterday there were probably maybe 10 incomplete passes. Like no lie, 10.
Yeah.
Today they said it was like dot after dot after dot after dot after dot, and I'm like, thank God, like hallelujah. I don't know what y'all did yesterday after practice when we left to fix it, but then it's like you can't be upset because they're out there. That's how you get better. You got to mess up to get better. So, Yeah, I'm excited. I'm with you. I want to see if Kingsley gets more of those first team snaps tomorrow, which I think they'll and maybe Wanye got the majority today because now they're testing endurance. Because the first two practices they split half and
Right.
half. So it is
That's
a
what I
very
kind
high
of think.
possibility that they could be like, all right, what's your endurance like? Because you haven't played football since February, So
Let's give
that
you
could be
every
something
snap.
too
Yeah.
that we just don't think about.
Yeah.
So I think those are all things to keep into consideration. But no, I'm excited.
I am too.
Can't
Lots
wait
of
to watch
fun to
tomorrow.
come.
I'm like, can't wait to
Yeah.
watch tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
I know. It's so amazing. We're so back with football
Right.
and stuff to look forward to every single day up until preseason. So,
Man,
very
shout
exciting
out
time.
to Chiefs Kingdom because the last few days have been slightly insane for our platforms. We are just trying to produce good content and put it out there because we know that y'all love football as much as we love football. So we just want to put good content out there too. And we feel all the love from everybody. I think our our Twitter grew like
We
1,000
got like
followers
1,000 followers in the
in
last few
3 days.
days. So,
1,000
thank you
followers
guys
in
for
3
being here
days,
with us. Yeah.
which is insane. And I don't know what took me so long to be like, oh yeah, y'all should go look at our Instagram too, because we also have an Instagram page.
Yeah.
We grew like 150 followers on Instagram in like a day. So I mean, shout out to y'all. Very, very dope.
Yeah.
Grateful for y'all. And
And
then
keep following along. We're going to be posting more training camp coverage randomly throughout the practices, and yeah, just lots of good stuff
we're
to
only
come.
11 subscribers away on YouTube from 1,600. So
Ooh.
the numbers are growing at a rapid rate. And I think it just puts pressure on me and Lexi to make sure that we're only putting out good stuff, not bad stuff. And we're only putting out things that are accurate. Because we are very much, I'm like, send me the source. I won't say it until I see the
Yeah.
source. Who was the outlet that posted it? We do our homework before we just post anything. We're not out here we're not clickbaity, if that makes sense.
No, we're definitely not. We try to
We're
we
not
try to get facts on things.
right. I'm like, I do WNBA media, so I have to also be very accurate on the things that I say.
Yeah.
So, no, we
No,
just try to
that's
produce high quality
what we pride
content
ourselves in. Yeah.
from a woman's perspective.
Yes.
We love that for us. So
Yes.
because we are growing at a rapid rate, yeah, we need some interns. So we are definitely looking for some content creators to help us because we've pretty much outgrown ourselves, Lexi. We've outgrown ourselves. So if y'all know people who are great at making reels or making videos or making thumbnails or making all kind of things, and y'all know what I'm talking about for you YouTube users, DM me and let me know. But you got to know that I'm very particular about what me and Lexi post. So if you know them, send them.
Please.
It's gonna be a crazy season for us,
It
and we
really
need an
is.
operations
So,
team. We need an
yeah.
operations team. That's where we're at.
But we're excited, and thank you
I
guys for
can't
being
believe
here
we're
with us.
here.
I
It's crazy
know.
that we're here. This is great. I'm
We're
like,
about
this
to
is
have
so great.
we're about to be weekly episodes again, so tune in with us every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central. Sorry for the technical difficulties tonight. Usually that doesn't happen. We're gonna get better at that. But
It happens, and y'all just gonna
sometimes
stick
it
with us anyway.
happens. But
Y'all just gonna stick with us anyway. And then was there anything else we needed to say? Oh, we are struggling on Twitter.
oh, yeah, we're
We
struggling to.
I
For
love that
some
we're just like
reason,
talking to the 1,000 people
I
listening to
know.
us. And
For
we're
some
like, here's
reason,
where we need help since y'all are here.
since y'all are here, for some reason, our Twitter account on Kingdom's Queens will not allow us to subscribe to the next level to get a check mark and make those longer posts and
Verified.
post the longer videos and that kind of thing to be verified. So it's giving us a problem with our identity, which I don't even know because it's just us. And so I don't know why that's a
We're
problem.
just us.
We both are verified on there, but we would love to get Kingdom's Queens verified. So if anyone has any ideas on that,
if y'all have
much
any
appreciated.
ideas, please. Me and Lexi been trying to get this darn page.
Or we're just gonna tweet about it because I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tweet angrily to Elon.
Zed about
Like,
it.
yo, fix this now. Like, why do we keep
Yeah.
getting errors?
We're
So
literally
those are
trying to
just
pay
some of
you.
So you guys got homework. Help us find interns and help us figure out how to get verified on Twitter. Those are the two things that we are struggling with as people who are just trying to produce great
people.
content. People who are trying to produce great content. So anyway, shout out to the sponsor. They love us. Can't wait. Next week we're gonna meet up with them and talk about what season 3 looks like for Kingdom Queens. So it's gonna be a good time. Can't wait. Can't wait. More Ken Seltzer updates coming very, very soon. But as soon as you're laughing at me?
Yeah. No, you're good.
More Ken Seltzer updates coming. We'll let y'all know when they get here.
Pretty much.
We've been gone for 3 weeks. We're trying to get back on track here.
I know. We're just
we'll be better next
for a
week.
minute.
We'll be better next week. We missed y'all too. Trust me. We missed y'all too.
All right. Well, thanks y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. You got the sign out, girl.
Oh my God, Lexi. I'm like, you can do it. I believe in you. If you have not already, if you have not already, help us get 11 more subscribers to YouTube so we can hit 1,600. But make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube. You're following us on Instagram, X. You're following us on Twitter. You're following Instagram, X, Twitter, same thing. Make sure, shout out to the Swifties. Make sure you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, and all of those great places where you could check out our platform and listen to us. Like Lexi said, we're back every week, baby. Every week, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if we miss a Tuesday, we're probably going to go live on Wednesday. We're basically not missing any weeks going forward.
But nah, we'll let you know if we do, but plan on Tuesdays from here on out.
Yeah, not while training camp is going. We should be good here in this spot.
We're good to go.
We like this little spot.
So good to go.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We missed y'all. Today was lit. And we will definitely have more training camp coverage for y'all just as the time happens. We're in it. We're here. We're back.
We made it, y'all. We made it.
We're back, baby.
44 days until the season opener, which basically means just over a month, which is freaking crazy. So.
Oh. Sorry. I don't know why my phone is making noise out loud.
Okay. Well, we're going to end this. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will be with you next week. And until then, your queens have spoken.
Bye.
Love y'all.